welcome everybody to the 509 Divine Pints podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Daniel Pena, and it is a great day. Yes, I hope you guys are having a great year, man. Like, subscribe, and share. Tell everybody around that this is going down. And so, what you see on the screen is my website, 509divinepines.net. I have my YouTube right here linked. So, there's a video that pops up if you want to browse and listen to something for a minute. So there's a cool hat with my gold special logo. It's definitely unique, you know what I mean? Because I have the green 509 Divine Pines, everything, but this gold logo right here, this is sweet. Telling you, I got it on right now. I got pictures with it. It's fresh. It looks clean. It's definitely tough. All right. What we got next is this Alien Fam hoodie. Was pretty cool, man. Right here in the back it says we are not alone in the universe with some like mantis praying mantis eyes, butter like something I don't know. mm, Bug eyes, whatever. And then in the front it got the UFO with the alien fam. And on the sides there's some logos, my podcast logo and a couple of different other logos. There is a beast mode shirt, and there is an Ephesians 6:12 tumbler for everybody who wants to take the holy word with them on the go while they are at the gym or at work, wherever you are. You just want some fresh water with the word. Yes, you know, you know where to go. 509divinepines.net. And yeah, let's get to it, man. It's gonna be a quick broadcast about news. And right here, first and foremost, everybody wants to understand dreams better and how we interact with our spirit world. Well, there's a company called Prophetic, ran by Eric Wahlberg, CEO, and it promises that lucid dreaming will soon be possible for everyone. In a lucid dream, the dreamers are aware that they are dreaming. They can shape the dream according to their will and also exit the dream. Everyone has the ability to experience lucid dreams. One can learn to induce this form of dreaming, but one can also have this form of dreaming as a child and unlearn it again as an adult. Interesting. The Halo headband, a non invasive neural device, is designed to make lucid dreaming possible. Ooh, the combination of ultrasound and machine learning models created by the EEG and fMRI data allows us to detect when dreamers are in REM to induce and stabilize lucid dreams. According to Golem, the neuronal device will be available starting in 2025. And so this woman doesn't even have the halo on her. Why are they showing me a picture of just some random AI generated woman? Here, I'm going to show you exactly what this is. Here's the website. The website is strange. What you are seeing is not a joke. So this is the real website of this company, Prophetic. And so they want to go ahead and tap into lucid dreaming and help everybody lucid dream. It's very strange. You see this picture? That's like, I can't even zoom in. That's biblical. Like I don't know if that's a biblical picture, but it kind of seems something along that, like heavenly type of thing, where it has angels or it has these Greeks and cherub. I don't even know what it is really. It's a very strange type of art. Like, it's definitely occultic or Masonic or something among that nature, where these guys, well, I mean, it could also be very conscious. People correlate these pictures with consciousness and, like, achieving ascension to divinity or to the heavens, transcendence and things like that. So I guess we're about to see where this company is headed. I'm gonna play a video, so I gotta bring this back up 1 second. Very interesting. Would you guys wear that? Drop it in the chat if you guys would. Say yes or no if you guys would wear this headband I'm about to go ahead and
Imagine experiencing one of the most profound states of consciousness a human can achieve, lucid dreaming. During a regular dream, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, or DLPFC, which is responsible for higher order functions like decision making, self awareness, or logical thinking, is largely dormant. But in a lucid dream, the DLPFC comes alive, unlocking heightened self awareness and sharp reasoning that allow you to take control of your dream world. Transcranial focused ultrasound, or TFUS, is an emerging non-invasive neuromodulation technology that can precisely activate neural circuits. It works by directing low-intensity ultrasonic energy through the skull to safely modulate neuronal activity. This precision is crucial, especially given the DLPFC's role in lucid dreaming. By carefully controlling stimulation parameters, TFUS can trigger the DLPFC during REM sleep, creating ideal conditions for lucidity. Furthermore, by using a multi-element phase array and carefully timed activation sequences, the ultrasonic beam can target neurons within a spatial range and correct for skull differences. Lucid dreaming is a rare treasure, a phenomenon that most people only encounter once or twice in a lifetime. Prophetic is here to change that.
very interesting. So right here on their website it says there's something going on in life beyond just a job and a family and 2 cars in the garage and a career. There's something more going on. There's another side of the coin that we don't talk about much. We experience it when there are gaps, when we are asleep, when everything is not ordered and perfect. When there's a gap, you experience this inrush of something. And a lot of people have set off throughout history to find out what that was. Says Steve Jobs. You know, Steve Jobs is a very innovative dude. He took a lot of LSD, but this dude set set off with a company that was like revolutionary. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't have an iPhone currently. I don't have an iPhone currently. I had an iPhone, but I got rid of it like years ago, a long time ago. It's an amazing phone. I'll be honest. Like the Apple iPhone is an incredibly sharp, cool phone. Like the app processing and the pictures and just the way that it has a very, very secure like phone network. It's very secure with its own like internal processing and stuff. Who knows about the outsourcing of the stuff that you give out, but like it's a very very good phone. That's all I got to say about it, right? But I don't like the way that it's managed, you know what I mean? Especially after Steve Jobs died. So it kind of just started going downhill and things were being pushed through the technology of the iPhone that I do not think Steve Jobs would allow currently. Like the overclocking of the GPUs and battery powers where like they made them extremely hot and dangerous and like they would like emit sounds that weren't normal, and it's because of the people controlling it behind it and they're being allowed to through Apple. um Anyways, here's another story about Apple. Apple responds to tariff threat with a $500 billion United States investment plan. Yeah, you heard that right. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of jobs. The company says it will add 20,000 United States employees over the next 4 years and launch a new server factory in Houston. So, anybody out there in Houston and Texas, or anybody who wants a new job with Apple, go to Houston, I guess. Go to Apple down there. They are going to be hiring. And yeah, I don't think 20,000 people at that site, but like um it's gonna be a lot. I mean, wait, you know what? Who knows? Look at it. So it, they could be hiring 20,000 new employees and then launch a new server and hire more employees. So $500 billion is kind of a lot, you know. That's That's a big investment into United States. So America is actually getting something out of Apple now, where Apple is, you know, saving its best for other countries or whatever. But now, just like how Samsung is giving America a huge boost in its technology, I'm hoping Apple starts, coming back and giving America the best and, the I don't know, the safest technology, right? So Apple has announced plans to invest more than 500 billion in the US for the next 4 years, including hiring 20,000 new employees and launching a new server factory in Texas. An announcement was teased after a meeting last week between CEO Tim Cook and President Donald Trump, and comes as the company tries to mitigate the business impact of Trump's trade tariffs, with the 10% tariff already in effect on goods imported from China and the 25% tariff threatened for computer chips. The announcement echoes one Apple made in early 2018 during the first Trump administration. At that point, Apple also promised 20,000 new jobs as part of a $350 billion spend in the U.S., alongside a new campus in Texas, Austin, which is still under construction. Whoa, that sounds shady to me. So Apple in the first Trump administration promised the same exact thing, 20,000 new jobs. Oh, I'm going to give them 20,000 new jobs. Not 25, not 30, not 50, not 100, but both times now it's 20,000 new jobs, and I guess just a little bit more billions, right? Interesting. Okay, but the campus that they promised is still under construction. Now that does not sound right. Doesn't, like, it sounds shady to me. Am I right? I think that there's probably some money laundering going on, and they're not coming through with the promises. They're just kind of bluffing. That's sad. Come on, Apple. You could do better than that. You could do way better than that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and check this out, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in the big picture, it could just be money laundering, or it could just be, throwing the sheet, or throwing a sheet over the eyes. You know what I mean? Like they're just bluffing. These guys are just bluffing. They're like, oh yeah, we want to be friends. We'll give you 20,000 new jobs and 500 billion, and it's like they're not really doing it just because they're not really friends. They're just saying it. But who knows? The company announced a few concrete elements of the increased United States spending. The most significant is a new factory in Houston set to open next year, which will produce servers to power Apple Intelligence, the company's suite of AI features. Apple says that the factory alone will create thousands of jobs. In addition, Apple is doubling its 5 billion United States Advanced Manufacturing Fund to 10 billion. Launched in 2017, the fund is intended to support world-class innovation and high-skilled manufacturing jobs across America. In this case, it means Apple making a multi-billion-dollar order for chips from a TSMC factory in Arizona. More generally, Apple says that over the term of the Trump administration, it will hire 20,000 new. Man, I don't. I still don't believe him. The employees will be focused on research and development, silicon engineering, software development, and AI and machine learning. It will also open an Apple Manufacturing Academy in Detroit, in which Apple engineers and other experts will offer consultations to local businesses on implementing artificial intelligence and smart manufacturing techniques, along with free classes for workers. So, if they hold through with that, that would actually be pretty cool. Man, considering the shambles Detroit is in, man, y'all seen how, like, south side, I think it was south side of Detroit was frozen over. There was a water pipe leak, and the temperatures got to like 10 degrees, and so uh, all the blocks that had water like flowing through because the leaks were in the streets. It was so bad, it was covering the houses. There were a third a third of a car high water, and it was all frozen. So there were cars frozen, houses frozen. There are houses completely destroyed. There are cars completely destroyed. The the mayor of Detroit over there actually had did a good thing, and everybody who was affected, all their cars who were affected, they get brand new cars from the new dealerships. They get brand new cars, everything, brand new houses. So it's a trippy thing that's happening over there in Detroit as far as like it's yeah, dude, I think there's books and historians and authors and whatever who talk about the early 1900s in Detroit, and well, stupid Aleister Crowley, the the godfather of Satanism, that weirdo, all those people who deal with the dark devil, that they're weird. They're just weird. He was in Detroit. He actually, I think, they created one of the first temples or churches or something in Detroit. Uh, or like a library or something. One of the other, one of the three, and they had like one of their main bases in Detroit. So like there's a lot of spell work, a lot of black magic that was being done in Detroit early in the 1900s, and I believe, I honest to God believe that like the whole reference between iRobot in Detroit and 8 Mile and Eminem in Detroit, and him being so demonic and him referencing this wicked side, it's coming from something much deeper 100 years ago, where there's like some dark spirits by these Satanists and occultists in Detroit. And it's bad because we see right now, like Detroit and Chicago and those areas, like they're wicked. Chicago is not a place you want to go. Like, rest in peace to everybody that's like been killed out there. Like, it's bad. You know what I mean? Detroit's not even any better. Like, it's just y- I, I've seen videos like over the last 5 years of how people drive through Detroit, and it looks like war, or like it looks like uh, just deceased town. How do it's kind of unspeakable, like, because you see it, and this isn't what's normal. It's definitely not a normal thing what's happening out there, and it's sad because like these are the old races, you know what I mean? Like these are a lot of old cultures that we're getting pushed up north more and more and more. Like tribal cultures over the last 100, 200 years, 300 years. Like, man, it's bad. Hopefully, Apple can help a lot of people up there in Detroit with this new academy, which would be pretty awesome. And another thing up there in the north right now that's troubling: the freedom of speech is on the line in the pivotal Dakota Access Pipeline trial. So remember that whole Dakota pipeline standoff where indigenous, tribal Native Americans and others, locals, were trying to stop these oil companies from drilling over their lands and ruining their stuff and ruining their lands and destroying it, right? Well, like there was an extremely bad standoff where the cops and I don't know, authorities were using um, harmful weapons like electronic weapons, sound weapons, and oh wow, there we go. My bad. Sorry about that. How long did I have it on? So So yeah, they were using some very bad tactics, and it was actually pretty harmful to people. It was really, really eye opening because it was like in what, um, I don't know, mid 2010s. A lot of this stuff started happening, and the trial is still going on. A pivotal trial over the embattled Dakota Access Pipeline opens today that could have grave consequences for protests in the United States and the future of environmental group Greenpeace. Members of the Standing Rock Suits and more than 500 tribes protested the development of the pipeline alongside demonstrators who joined from across the United States nearly a decade ago. Legal battles are still in motion, even after oil started flowing through the pipeline that runs from North Dakota to Illinois in 2017. The company that operates Dakota Access Energy Transfers is suing Greenpeace for $300 million in a lawsuit that goes to trial this week. Energy Transfer claims that Greenpeace supported protesters' unlawful acts of trespass and property destruction to stop construction. It also alleges that the organization spread false information about the company and concerns about the pipeline's impact on the environment and cultural sites of the public and to banks financing the project. Paying that amount in damages would be the equivalent of about 10 times Greenpeace United States annual budget, according to the organization. If we lose, Greenpeace USA could face financial ruin, ending over 50 years of environmental activism. The Green Group says it's become the target of one of the largest slap suits in the books, referencing strategic lawsuits against public participants meant to deter civic action. Grassroots activists from Standing Rock say the suit is a threat to free speech across the board, and that the spotlight on Greenpeace misrepresents a movement that was led by indigenous protesters rather than any outside environmental organization. Freedom of speech is on the line. This directly impacts everybody in America, not just Standing Rock and not just Greenpeace. So, yes, this is actually pretty big. Now that I'm reading more into this, this is this week, and if this goes to trial and this oil company wins, they are able to just outright walk over Greenpeace and indigenous tribes and all their cultural heritage and everything in the history about them just because they have money. And not just that, but in public and now in the internet, like time where it's so hard to, ignore this type of stuff and the right thing not being done. Because, most of the time, if it's on the internet, like the right thing's going to be done. Um, so this could also show how, like, we're not allowed to protest and stand for our ground anymore as far as like at all, like there was a time where we used to be able to fight back, but it seems like maybe right now in this certain circumstances they're not even allowed to fight back. And it's kind of the same thing with the Alex Jones thing. He wasn't even allowed to fight back. And I hope that these lawyers and prosecutors and attorneys and judges all pull their head out their behind and make the right decisions. I mean, it's disrespectful, to just walk over cultures and history and natives and blame them, be like, oh, this is all your fault. We're coming to take your land again, and we're coming to destroy your land again, but it's your fault. Like, sit down. Like that's kind of what's happening, and it's pretty sad. You know, I wonder what could be done about this. That's a lot of money, $500 million. I think. I think that's what they said right here. $300 million. $300 million in a lawsuit. Man, that's still not even close to what they sued Alex Jones for. Man, they sued him for like 3 trillion or something. Like, I don't know, 3 billion, 10 billion. So it was crazy dumb money. Then those guys were all fake agents, CIA agents that were going against Alex Jones. Man, these these guys got paid. I hope these guys right here in this lawsuit they don't get paid. I honestly hope Greenpeace wins. Greenpeace has racked up support from more than 400 different organizations and some celebrities, including Jane Fonda, Billie Eilish, Susan Sarandon, and yeah, it's it's pretty bad. Our lawsuit against Greenpeace is about them not following the law. It is not about free speech as they are trying to claim. We support the rights of all Americans to express their opinion and lawfully protest. Yeah, sure, you guys do. Man, nah, these guys are tripping. Man, I'm telling you, if you guys look back at the videos from these protests, you will see it's like 10 degrees, 20 degrees outside, snow and cold, and the oil companies are spraying water on the indigenous, making them freeze and turn into ice while it's already cold out there, and they're just laughing like, "Ah, give," they're like just they're literally they were literally like committing some Geneva Code like fault or something like I swear they were breaking some laws. These oil companies were breaking laws like for sure 100%, 1000%. And they're over here trying to say that we were breaking laws. Yeah, whatever, man. That's crazy. This is this is a pretty big lawsuit, not gonna lie. But next up, AT&T and Verizon connect to first cell phone to satellite video calls. The two companies completed the test that uses AST Space Mobile satellite. Oh, that's pretty cool. Look at that. Wow. So one of them is on satellite. So they turned off their cell phone chip, and they put their internet together to uh the satellite, right? And then the other one is using the cell phone server. So they're connected through the actual cell phone. Interesting. Verizon and AT&T have announced milestones in making cell phone to satellite video calls in partnership with satellite company AST Space Mobile. Verizon has completed its first cell phone to satellite video call, while AT&T has completed its first using satellites that will be used as part of a commercial network. There's lining up competition to T-Mobile's arrangement with SpaceX and Starlink on satellite to cell phone service, which launched a public beta for messaging via satellite earlier this month. AT&T and Verizon have said that T-Mobile and SpaceX's offerings would harm their network. Verizon pulled off a live video call between two mobile devices, with one connected via satellite and other connected via Verizon's terrestrial network connection. AT&T and AST Space Mobile have successfully completed another video call by satellite to an everyday smartphone over AT&T spectrum. So, um, pretty great. That's pretty simple to understand, I guess. Like, so pretty much, cell phone connectivity is getting way better. Where like you're gonna be able to call people just way smoother on all across all these different networks and using all sorts of different internet services. Because like like I'm sure people have still experienced it recently where they tried calling someone where like you were on Wi-Fi and they were on their cell phone or like whatever, and it just seemed like it just wasn't going through, or different instances where you know you were in the mountains and you were connected to a certain internet that should have been able to call but it wasn't able to, or different things like that, right? Let's just say cell phone talking is going to it's going to be a lot easier here in the future, and we're not going to have to stress as much. So, we're gonna go forward. Dermatology researchers discovered new skin disease using innovative diagnostic platform. From the University of Maryland School of Medicine, researchers described a new skin disease in a male patient with an wait, areothrodermal. I don't even know what that is. Researchers have described a new skin disease in a male patient with air. How do I say that? Areothroderma. There we go. Areothroderma, causing 80% of his skin to be covered in red exfoliating skin lesions, so lesions that itched and burned. After undergoing months of treatment with traditional therapies for areothroderma, which included the steroid prednisone, an anti-itch cream, and immunosuppressive drugs, the patient experienced little relief. I'm sorry I butchered that paragraph right there. That was ridiculous. So pretty much, there's a new skin disease. Yeah, sorry about that. There's a new skin disease, and it causes 80% of a person's skin to be covered in red, exfoliating skin lesions that itch and burn. So it's like a new chicken pox, a new smallpox, something like that. Well, I guess a significant number of Americans experience chronic inflammatory skin conditions with no pinpointed cause and often no effective treatments beyond symptom management. Now, a new study could pave the way for precision medicine based diagnostic testing and targeted treatment. In a recent paper published in Nature Journal Scientific Reports, researchers from University of Maryland described a new skin disease in a male patient, causing 80% of his skin to be covered with red lesions. After undergoing months of treatment with traditional therapies of erythroderma, which included the I don't know why I said stereo again. Oh my God, steroid. Jesus, I'm having such a hard time. I'm tired. Forgive me. I don't even know how to say that medicine. Predonicine, man. What's up with medical terms being so weird? Like every other subject has manageable words and easy grammar, but like medical terms, like they're from another world. They don't, man. Whatever. Whoever's in the medical field, bravo to you, because you have to remember these crazy dumb words all the time. I'll be honest. It's quite impressive. We isolated individual circulating blood cells and created a new blood test using flow cytometry to identify specific cytokine signatures. You know what? So these guys are studying these skin diseases more and in depth, and they're understanding this at a biological and DNA level. And so hopefully soon these dermatologists will actually be able to like completely stop skin diseases, instead of like taking your money with like proactive and stuff. Hopefully they can just like do a one stop cure all type of thing. But that's in the future. I'm guessing maybe over the next 5 years. I bet if they use artificial intelligence to build them a new medicine and understand this these skin diseases more, they would come up with a medicine faster. But some of these places, they like their money, so that they're gonna they're gonna stall it out, and they're gonna like, hey, you know what? There's possibly a cure, but let's let's not work on that, right? Because they want the money. Who knows though? Who knows? I hope that the University of Maryland over there, I think it's like um I'm pretty sure that's like one of the old schools and areas of colleges. Um these guys definitely are probably well educated, like that side where DC, Boston, Philadelphia, Maryland, that whole area seems to be just pretty well educated on these things, you know, because they got everything like Harvard, Yale, John Hopkins, all the Ivy Leagues and everything like that. These guys are old knowledge from, these schools are like 400 years old or whatever. 300 years old, actually. I believe I've seen something with Oxford being like 800 years old or something. Crazy, crazy. Let's do a fact check. How old is Oxford University? Oh my! So there is, okay, trip out. And just to show you the truth of some of these colleges, the University of Oxford is one of the oldest universities in the world, with teachings existing in some form as early as 1096. It is recognized as the oldest university in the English speaking world and is the world's second oldest university in continuous operation. So world's first. World's oldest continuous college or university, whatever. Oh, it just beats it out by 10 years. Or no, 150. Jeez. Okay, the University of Bologna in Italy is considered the oldest university in continuous operation, with teaching beginning around 1088, and it officially organized as a university in the late 12th century. However, the University of Al Qur'ayyin in Fez, Morocco, is recognized by UNESCO and Guinness Records as the oldest existing, continually operating, and first degree awarding educational institution in the world, founded in 859. So it's not necessarily a college, it's kind of like a library, college, teaching, institutional place. And you know what's wild, okay, about Morocco? In that area, that's where they say, um, a lot of this old Bible stuff was like it being led by cultures who were of those eras, right? Like that's old world knowledge, and so that Maryland stuff, the University of Maryland, where they're finally coming up with skin disease cures, then yeah, that's old world knowledge for sure. Next up, right here, brewing tea removes lead from water. So, process passively removes significant amount of toxic heavy metals from drinking water. Northwestern University researchers demonstrated that brewing tea naturally absorbs heavy metals and lead and cadmium, effectively filtering dangerous levels of contaminants out of drinks. Researchers tested different types of tea bags, and brewing methods. Finely grounded black tea leaves perform best at removing toxic heavy metals. Longer sleeping times help tea remove larger amounts of contaminants. So, for all you tea drinkers, you're winning. There's been proof lately over the last like 5 years on how effective and how healthy tea is. Um, there's like all these different type of, what is it, like terpene type thing, flavonoids and nutrients and chemicals and minerals that come out of tea. So like tea will dispose all the good stuff, and then I guess it'll soak up all the bad stuff or like filter it out. Awesome. Very, very awesome. Um that makes sense because it's releasing all its nutrients, and then the flower and the petals and stuff, whatever, is still in the tea bag usually. And since all the nutrients are out, it's then filling itself with something else. Um, Interesting. So heavy metal ions stick to and absorb to the surface of tea leaves, where they stay trapped until the used tea bag is disposed. We're not suggesting that everyone starts using tea leaves as a water filter. For this study, our goal was to measure tea's ability to absorb heavy metals. By quantifying this effect, our work highlights this unrecognized potential for tea consumption to passively contribute to reduced heavy metal exposure in populations worldwide. I'm not sure that there's anything uniquely remarkable about tea leaves as a material. They have a high active surface area, which is useful property for an absorbent material and what makes tea leaves good at releasing flavor chemicals rapidly into your water. But what is special is that tea happens to be the most consumed beverage in the world. You could crush up all kinds of materials to get a similar metal remediating effect, but that wouldn't necessarily be practical. With tea, people don't need to do anything extra. Just put the leaves in your water and steep them, and they naturally remove metals. An expert on sorbent materials and sponge entrepreneur, Dravid S. Abraham Harris, professor of materials science and engineering at Northwestern's McCormick School of Engineering. At the time of the research, Schindel was a PhD student in Dravid's laboratory. Now he works with the U.S. Department of Energy National Technology Laboratory. So, yeah, these guys are um, these guys are pretty smart too, and they're at universities, right? But they're talking about tea. the hippie stuff. When I try to say drink tea and it's healthy for you, oh, you're just a hippie, dude. You smoke weed a lot. Like, bro, no, come on, man. This is real stuff and real deal knowledge. And drink tea, drink tea, drink tea. I don't have to say it one more time. These guys just did. And so I hope you guys get the message. The more tea that you have, the better your health will be for sure. I had my tea today. It was hibiscus berry with some green tea, I believe. Ooh, it was good. I ain't gonna lie. It's great in the morning. Provides a perfect amount of flavor and a nice subtle kick of actual energy. Photolights. Good stuff. Next up right here, NVIDIA admits some early RTX 5080 cards are missing its main processor too. So I don't even know how to describe this. NVIDIA pulled a fast one or something. Something happened. On the RTX 5090, the RTX 5090D, the RTX 5070 Ti, and the RTX 5080, there was a rare manufacturing issue that left all those cards missing promised rendering units and a slight amount of performance as a result. So they sold these $100 cards, hundreds of dollars of cards, and cut the power. Like they sold them bunk cards with lesser power and weaker power. It's pretty wild. I've never seen a company do that. Like, I'll be honest. Like that's like your Xbox. Microsoft selling you an Xbox with like half of the parts missing, or like a quarter of the parts missing, or even just some of the parts missing, and them doing that for like the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, the like multiple consoles at once or whatever. And it's like, whoa, like what happened? How does that even happen? For a manufacturing company so large in the billions and trillions of dollars worth, that's a weird manufacturing slip. But hey, I'm just here to report on the news. And if you had NVIDIA chips, I guess you know why that it doesn't work that well. But I guess if you hit them up, you'll probably get a replacement. Next up, Starfire and Green Lantern are getting a new animated series. It seems Warner Bros. Has been pleased with My Adventures of Superman because the studios kicked off production of a Green Lantern centric spin off, as well as a new show revolving around Teen Titans Starfire. Ooh. My Adventures with Green Lantern. The series follows Jessica Cruz, who has her life upended when Green Lantern power rings fall from the sky. I guess that's all there is to know about it so far. Next up, check this out. We're about to get down. Now, this is the fun part of the podcast. 1 minute. All right, we're about to go ahead and play some videos. Yeah, you guys heard. So this is Jesse Michaels and Danny Jones on Jacques Vallee's strange book recommendation. So
yeah,
Jacques Vallée and all them guys. Yeah, man, I wouldn't trust a lot of the stuff that's going on with those guys and Lou and even seems like Stephen Greer too. Like, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't trust being around them. That's the thing. I wouldn't trust being around them.
You spent a lot of time with Jacques Vallée, right? You guys are. Did you live? You lived close to him, or
no?
You used to live closer to LA, right?
Yeah, I lived in LA for most of my life,
right.
And no, I just whenever we're in the same city, I try to hit him up and visit him, and he's amazing. He's just a very, very deep thinker.
Yeah.
And there are clearly a lot of layers to his understanding of the UFO.
A lot of layers. The most interesting thing to me, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, was in Diana's book. She talks about him being obsessed with angels and demons.
Yes.
And this medieval spiritual stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she says that he gave her a book about the devil.
Uh-huh.
with 666 pages. And he said to her, if you want to understand this stuff, read the book about the devil. What the hell? I don't know what to make of that. And I don't think Diana did either when I asked her. I'm like, did you read the book? She goes, no, can't find it.
You lost it.
No, he didn't give it to her. He just like showed her the book. Like,
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Interesting. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna scroll right through this. These are just clips of the day.
About a year and a half after that, I'm in a green room at Fox, and I'm not going to say who because they didn't give me permission to share it. But the short story, but not who they are, says, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure of that? The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure of that he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset, meaning his plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake. The reason they wanted this story to go away is because there's an assumption like, oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. Which Middle Eastern countries they are, I don't know. But this person, who's a very, very good reporter, I mean, aces, right? Swore Epstein was either a witting or unwitting intelligence asset, and they may have had his plane wired up, and they're the ones who have all this stuff. So the point is, to sum it up, how do you know some of these countries aren't going to some of these power players who aren't making decisions? Because, hey, you wouldn't want this video out there, right? How do you know?
100%.
I mean,
let's get personal.
And things are moving very, very fast as we enter the 36th day of the new Trump administration. And Garrett O'Boyle, a very credible, famous FBI whistleblower, has gone public through Michael Schellenberger. It's already trending the last 30 minutes at the top of X with what we expected is happening. The FBI is engaged in massive document destruction, hard drive destruction of the huge Jeffrey Epstein file that goes into the CIA, Mossad, MI6, and the massive human trafficking of children, all sorts of bizarre genetic experiments at Zorro Ranch. I mean, it's way worse than even what you've heard. Obviously, I first broke this story almost 20 years ago when it was first developing. And so Epstein's just one string you pull on the sweater and the whole thing comes out. So this is massive. This is all ahead of Kash Patel, getting in there as the new FBI director and exposing what's going on, exposing what's happening. Of course, he pointed out, Kash Patel, when he was not even in the FBI, when Trump was running last year, that it's well known that the FBI director had this file, was using it as blackmail. That goes back to the days of the founder of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, using similar things for control. So this is really huge. This is exactly what we would expect to be going on, because the FBI, through the deep state, was using that for control. And instead of being used for control by the deep state over the population and the power structure, it can be used to bring down the power structure. We have all the huge human trafficking by DHS under Obama, and then under Biden, much worse. And Mayorkas and all of it. You have the president of Venezuela coming out. We already know this is true. We already have the documents, but he confirmed that Biden wanted the major drug gang shipped up here to be their frontmen for dealing drugs. I mean, this is just a giant criminal operation, but they can run, they cannot hide. So I can't wait to see the whistleblower go public. I can't wait for the congressional testimony. I can't wait for all this to come out. But there's definitely copies of this everywhere. And they reported at Zorro Ranch alone, there were whole houses, buildings full of hard drives and tapes that Epstein had. So this stuff's everywhere. They're not going to be able to hide it.
Massive portion of American citizens today have this question, both on Trump's side and on the left and everyone in the middle is noticing very rightly that Trump and Tulsi and Cash and Pam Bondi, RFK, Marco Rubio, this entire administration, this entire cabinet, they've got great takes on America, in my opinion. Great takes on the FBI, great takes on the CIA, great takes on the deep state, great takes on taking down the corporate banker pharma control of our country. But every single one of them is a Zionist and extremely pro-Israel and pretends like Israel is our greatest ally, despite the clear evidence against that. Sure, maybe some Israelis are on our side. I'm sure there's lots of Israelis that are on our side that are good people, maybe. There's certainly a lot of Jewish people around the world that are great people. But all of these people are very vocal about cutting funding to Ukraine. That's great. But then they try to deflect and stay silent and just do a little dance every time we notice that we're spending more money on Israel than on Ukraine over the years. None of them are talking about cutting funding to Israel that is actively blackmailing the entire US government, has a secret nuclear program, is committing a genocide. At the very least, it's an apartheid state. Their national economy is deeply intertwined in the diamond industry and all sorts of illegal international trade and human rights abuses around that in Africa. We have anti-Semitic speech laws in America when we can criticize our own government and our own president, but we can't criticize Israel. We can't even talk about it, or else we'll get kicked off the internet, kicked out of the government. And I hold out at least a sliver of hope for most of these guys that they do understand what's going on and they understand the gravity of Israel's control and that they are just tiptoeing and playing it careful and trying to get the job done here without starting a firestorm that's going to prevent them from doing that. But it's not looking super great. And just like, forget about all the other conspiracy theories about Israel. Forget about the Rothschilds. Forget about the Federal Reserve. Forget about the fact they own the media. Forget about the fact that they founded Hollywood. Forget about all that. Whether you think it's true or not, it does not matter. Just Epstein alone, just Epstein, blows this whole thing wide open.
Have you noticed three videos in a row they're talking about Epstein, because literally that was the biggest thing in the world in 2018, 2019, whatever, 2020, and like suddenly it all went away when the American FBI and CIA and world governments, or the world polices, started finding out everything. Suddenly we had COVID. Oh, suddenly we had all this stuff come down and come happen to us, right? To distract us, to put us in a lockdown, to make everybody forget. And it's going to show how Israel is a part of this. Israel, the guy, the nation who blew up 10,000 pages in people's pockets, right by their kids and right by their doctors and dentists and grocers and friends and families. And these guys were living like they weren't even in war. They just terrorized people in Lebanon, Palestinians in Lebanon, just because, hey, they think that they can do anything because they're Kabbalists and Satanists, whatever, man. Like, it's sad what Israel thinks that they can do. They're not gonna be around for much longer. I'll tell you that. Like, they're not the real Hebrews and Israelites. The nation of Israel is not the real DNA bloodline of the Hebrews or whoever they are, right? Yeah. I think this year's about to get real. But check this out, Dan Crenshaw, dude. Tell me why these Zionists are losing it, bro. They know they're done.
Have you ever met Tucker?
We've talked a lot. If I ever meet him, I'll probably tell him.
Man, that's crazy. If he met him, he would kill him. That's crazy. He's a former Navy SEAL, but that's not the only one. Hold on, I'm about to show you. There's one more. Alec Baldwin did the same thing about what is it? Just because someone was a Trump supporter.
Friends, right? I want to be Alec. It's your favorite president. Look,
Alec, I will offer you a total pardon because I want to be friends, right? I want to be friends. I will give you a total pardon for murdering that woman if you kiss the ring. Kiss the ring, Alec. Kiss the big, beautiful ring. Come on, Alec. Come on. Look at Alec Baldwin, right? He did that impersonation of me. It was not too hot, not too good. But look, we're back in office. You lost. Kamala lost. She's somewhere getting intoxicated. Look at that suitcase. Unbelievable. Well, Alec, if you don't want that pardon for murdering that woman in cold blood, you can call it first degree. You can call it whatever you want, but it was not good. She's looking down on me right now, smiling, happy. Thank you for confronting the man who took me out, who killed me, and that's okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
No, you realize, by the
Whoa.
way. No, look at me. I want you to look at me.
Sure.
You got a camera on me here?
The ring. No, it's the ring.
But you realize my kids live in this building, right? But I want you to know something.
We love the children. We're doing great deals for the children.
So be real careful.
Okay.
If there's a camera here, I snap your fucking neck in half and break your fucking neck right out. So you know that, don't you?
Okay. All right, Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin, ladies and gentlemen, class act. Believe me. Believe me. Okay. Oh, he's yelling at me. I'm a citizen of this. I was born and raised in New York City. I love you, Alec. Alec, look, Alec, you don't want to attack your favorite president, Alec. Look, I love you. I love you, Alec. He's got more balls than De Niro, that I can tell you. De Niro ran away. Alec confronted. That's good. He's strong, but also he's weak because he murdered a woman. So that's okay, right? Look at this guy.
Dude, that impersonation. It's hilarious, man. He's doing the dance. I ain't gonna lie, dude. Alec Baldwin did kill a dude. Okay, the crazy thing about that story, Alex Baldwin killed a woman on set of a movie, and the woman was making a documentary on exposing some elite stuff. And yeah, it's that crazy where the woman that was specifically killed on accident on set, even though it wasn't an accident, he brutally murdered her. Because he's covering up for, the elite said that she had tapes on and everything. It's crazy. But they shut that story down pretty quick too, right? But hey, people still want Alec Baldwin out, and hey, like, sorry, dog, like you over here on the wrong team. Tell you that.
Warlocks and them types.
And this is Roseanne Barr. Check this out. This is
really
Roseanne Barr, the infamous Roseanne show, right? You guys know
that. In that prayer, it's happened that we prayed that the secrets that these people who have made a pact with Satan, all the way up to the highest authorities, that their evil deeds would be undone and seen by all of humanity, and that their secrets could no longer be hidden and would be exposed, and that all of humanity would see them, and that they would lose the power that they bound in black magic in agreement with Satan, and it would be broken, and that all human souls would be returned to their connection to the Creator and what is good, and left and led out of bondage to those satanic vows of black magic that these wizards and warlocks and them types have been perpetrating on people for a really, really long time. Mind control, they studied mind control at human expense for centuries through torture, through war, through slavery. They was always studying the effects of their evil deeds and keeping data to profile people and try to socialize them into herds that would best be used to combat against each other for their sake. But, that's all broken. All those vows now are broken. And so, it's like a really great time in human history.
And you see it like the things with P. Diddy. He was a warlock, a witch, for sure, with his book. Like P. Diddy literally made a book on blood magic. That is the definition of a witch, a warlock, whatever the heck, right? The Marina Abramovic, she's getting called out. A lot of this dark stuff, dark side, like people don't like it. And a lot of the victims are coming out about it and exposing it and helping humanity out as much as possible, right? Like we have to be aware that some of these parties that you're invited to by rich folk at the club, ladies, like please don't go. Some of those weird rich folk out there, yeah, they're there's people in business suits and some of these other folks who definitely have strange tattoos and strange friends who are like dealing with dark energies. Like you can tell definitely on some satanic stuff that screw all that stuff. Um, it's even at like the festivals, like it's crazy. A lot of that the trafficking network, it's because girls love the flashy, evil guys, the guys who are careless, heartless, wicked. They got all the I don't even know, bro. It's some demonic stuff. You can tell in the vibe that like people are on. Check this out. I posted this.
Studies on Girl
On a
Scout
couple different
studies on
sites.
Girl Scout cookies. Studies on
Like Girl Scout cookies, they're bad. Do not buy Girl Scout cookies. Oh, hi, would you like some Girl Scout cookies? No, absolutely not. You're trying to poison me, you little twerp. Get out of here. Tell them that. Every time that a kid comes to the door, tell them, you little twerp, you want to know what's in those? Poison. Poison, poison, poison. Those are worse than cigarettes. Tell them. Ruin their day and make them cry. Nah, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But like, really though, Girl Scout cookies are poison. So listen to Joe Rogan tell you, because I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy.
Girl Scout cookies where they break them down and find out what's in them. Oh, holy shit. They're fucking toxic as fuck. Thin Mints being the worst offenders. 5 flavors of Girl Scout cookies contained... Scroll up, back up. Contained levels of glyphosate and heavy metals above EPA water safety limits. New investigation found 100% of tested Girl Scout cookies contained glyphosate. 100%. Controversial herbicide and Roundup. 88% contained toxic metals like arsenic, lead, and mercury. Key finding: Thin Mints had the highest glyphosate levels at 111.07 ppb, 334 times what experts say is harmful. Peanut butter patties had the highest heavy metal contamination, with lead reaching 42.5 ppb and aluminum at 27,500 ppb. 76% of cookies tested exceeded cadmium safety limits, and 96 contained lead.
That's wild.
Girl Scout USA, which sells 200 million boxes per year, $800 million in revenue, did not respond to researchers before publication. I wonder why.
Respond.
I wonder why. I wonder why they wouldn't chime in like they've done.
And that's why I read the ingredients on the stuff that I eat for the most part. Like there might be one thing that slips through the diet just because like it's a favorite food from a long time, but like I'll be honest, I'll be at the stores and like I did it today. I'll just like browse the products for the ingredients, and I do that. I do that often. I don't even care who sees me if I'm there for like a minute looking at 5 different products, viewing the ingredients. I want to know what's going in my body, man. Like, and it's not because I'm self-conscious. Oh, I better be perfect. No, it's like I just want to feel healthy. I don't want to feel all these weird cramps. I don't want to feel all these inconsistencies with my body and pain and fluctuations, because I know when I eat healthier, there's so less fluctuations. There's very little changes. Like my body, like I don't feel weird, hunger sensations, and I don't feel like weird pains or anything. Like my body just feels like very calm and relaxed all the time because I'm eating natural, eating clean ingredients. I don't have all this artificial junk and fillers. And
studies.
I think I hope that all of you guys start eating healthier. Everybody out there.
Silver Lake with a friend who's I won't out him, but he's a prominent investor who's like as rational as it gets. like he's actually really interested in like philosophy and academic science and stuff. And like the way he described his worldview is like the natural philosophers, like David Hume, super into Noam Chomsky. Like he couldn't be more like the material world is what it is. Like he's kind of like a material world, like a materialist atheist, And we had just gone surfing, and then we're back at his spot in Silver Lake, and I wanted to teach him holotropic breath work, which is, I love holotropic, it's the best. And we're doing it, and he kind of like 5 minutes in, like your hands can kind of clam up. It's like a common thing, and like you get into like an interesting state, and all of a sudden he looks up, he's like, "What is that?" I go, "Oh my God, 2 metallic orbs, like one above him, one above me. They look like they're way too high to be, prosaic aircraft. I wouldn't be able to tell you like what, 60,000, 80,000, but like they were high up and they were like bobbing, like hovering. And this is so funny. Like initially he goes, what? I go, what the fuck do you think those things are? And he goes, I think that must be one of those like deep black, Lockheed crafts or whatever. And I'm like, interesting. And then a second later, he goes, dude, those are not like of Earth.
How long ago was this?
This was 2020.
2020.
Yeah. This is that was either the Laurel Canyon one was 2020. That was either 2020 or 2021.
Okay.
Either late 2020 or early 2021. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So this is now the second person recently who's said that they can summon orbs and summon UFOs. Actually, like the third or fourth person. There was oh my God, I keep on forgetting the name. But on Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott, he has one of his buddies, one of his friends, who says that they can summon orbs. Ryan Bledsoe and his father Eric Bledsoe, they say that they can summon orbs, and they have video and proof, and a lot of people have seen that. There was another guy, I think, on a Joe Rogan show who said that they were summoning orbs. Now this guy says that they summon orbs. So there's a lot of people that are saying that they can summon orbs, and it makes me think, like, just makes me think, like, what if I can summon orbs? You know what I mean? Like, I've seen UFOs, but I've never put the 2 and 2 together. Last week, federal employees at NSA, CIA, and DIA were caught engaging in a secret sex chat room in which they openly discuss genital castration, artificial vaginas, sexual fetishes, and gangbangs, all while on the clock and being paid by United States taxpayers. Gross. And check this out. So here's more about Jeff Epstein. And telling you, this Epstein rabbit hole goes deep. That's probably one of the deepest pits of hell anybody could go down. And like even the Hunter Biden stuff, like that's all part, the Biden, the 5-finger lakes and his laptop, and like all that. It's crazy, right? Like over the last 7 years, how much dirt has been exposed about these elite satanic weirdos, who are check this out. This is a video that just came out.
The kind of cloning DNA part that he was obviously transhumanism that he was interested in. Did that come up anywhere? Did you see any signs?
Well,
I mean, obviously there's scientists.
I'm just going to put it out there right now. I woke up in a laboratory there one night.
Wow.
These are the things I haven't wanted to talk about because it's frightening. But there were scientists there, and I woke up one night in a laboratory, paralyzed and naked on a table. I would like to be lie detected on this. There are other weird things that I saw. We'll talk about more later. But these people were doing something else, and they don't want anyone knowing about it. And I came back from there, I was not okay. I had severe panic attacks. I was hospitalized 10 times with panic attacks. And I'd been a very, very healthy, happy girl before I was taken there. They did something to me, and I want to know what they did. And that's why I won't stop until I know.
Oh, remember, go watch the show Westworld on HBO or the movie Westworld, the old one, and like you'll get a glimpse of maybe what was happening in some of these parties and sex islands and stuff, and the elite island and stuff. It's definitely based on that for sure, 100%. Like they even say it in the movie. They're like, oh, this is what do they call it? They're like, this is any elite's paradise, or this is a rich man's paradise where you can come here and do anything, have all the drugs, alcohol, sex, kill, murder whoever you want. No laws are ever here. It's crazy. It's definitely crazy. It's a good show because it shows you what they think. I definitely now watch out for those areas. I don't want to go. I don't ever want to stay in unknown town and like have to sleep there and like yeah, it'd be weird. Check this out though, guys.
You don't know?
Here's more.
You don't know which Middle Eastern nations? So there's
Oh no. Let's see. Yeah. So this is about that Don
Dan
Bongino.
Bongino just perfectly elucidated why we are so obsessed with Israel right now. And despite his and this whole administration's endless Zionist rhetoric, this is why, if you are pro-Israel, you are not currently America first. And until we deal with this problem, we are not a free nation.
About a year and a half after that, I'm in a green room at Fox, and I'm not going to say who because they didn't give me permission to share. It says, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure that? The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure that he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset. Meaning
this part,
his plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake. The reason they wanted this story to go away is because there's an assumption like, oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. Which Middle Eastern countries they are, I don't know. But
you don't know? You don't know which Middle Eastern nations? So there's this entire trafficking ring made exclusively of Jewish billionaires, from the front man to the mastermind to the handler to the bank to the literal ex-prime minister of Israel, also the ex-head of Israeli intelligence. I'm sure that all these Jewish billionaires set up a trafficking ring on behalf of Iran, right? So it's an open secret at Fox News, in these political circles, that Epstein was an intelligence asset of some nation in the Middle East. I don't know if you haven't been paying attention, but the Jews don't get along too well with these Arab nations. What nation could they possibly work for? But the most critical part is that the blackmail was not exclusively in Epstein's possession, because that's not how that works. He was doing blackmail on behalf of a foreign intelligence service, targeting all of the United States' top people, all of our top scientists, politicians, wealthy people, as well as British, just anyone he could get his hands on. And all of that blackmail is possessed by whatever country he was working for to this day. And they won't give it to us. So even if they blow this story up, expose all the files, even if they show the tapes, which they won't and should not do, we still wouldn't be the only people in possession of them. Every single person on those tapes is controlled by some foreign country in the Middle East. It's like, what foreign country in the Middle East has an insane amount of influence over everyone in the United States for no explicable reason? We are told ad nauseum that claiming that Jewish people have allegiance to Israel over America is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, despite the fact that on TV every day we have explicit evidence coming directly out of their mouths that is often, not always, the case. And it's not always the case. And that's okay. But sometimes, frequently, at the top of power, it is the case. Such as Jonathan Pollard, one of the most egregious intelligence leaks in American history. He was an American Jew that, because of his Jewish heritage, had a stronger allegiance to Israel than America and committed high treason by giving Israel all of our secrets. This probably has a lot to do with Bill Clinton getting blackmailed by Epstein with the Monica Lewinsky scandal. That was all very tied together. Jeffrey Epstein himself is a perfect example. He's American. He was born in New York. His allegiance was clearly not to America first. Robert Maxwell, one of the most famous Mossad spies in the world, was born in Czechoslovakia. He was a British citizen, but his resting place is on the Mount of Olives in Israel because he backstabbed just about every government he ever worked for or had citizenship with on behalf of them. Leslie Wexner, born in Ohio, American billionaire. Clearly his primary allegiance is to Israel if you do even an iota of research about him. This bro was running trafficking rings out of all of Victoria's Secret, as well as Abercrombie & Fitch and Hollister. And I just had to giggle because I accidentally noticed that Ehud Barak, ex-prime minister of Israel, head of military intelligence, key member of putting this trafficking ring together and managing it. Yeah, he wasn't born in America, but he was born in Palestine, ironically enough. And a massive, massive portion of American citizens today have this question, both on Trump's side and on the left, and everyone in the middle is noticing very rightly that Trump and Tulsi and Cash and Pam Bondi, RFK, Marco Rubio, this entire administration, this entire cabinet, they've got great takes on America, in my opinion, great takes on the FBI, great takes on the CIA, great takes on the deep state, great takes on taking down the corporate banker pharma control of our country. But every single one of them is a Zionist and extremely pro-Israel and pretends like Israel is our greatest ally, despite the clear evidence against that. Sure, maybe some Israelis are on our side. I'm sure there's lots of Israelis that are on our side that are good people, maybe. There's certainly a lot of Jewish people around the world that are great people. But all of these people are very vocal about cutting funding to Ukraine. That's great. But then they try to deflect and stay silent and just do a little dance every time we notice that we're spending more money on Israel than on Ukraine over the years. None of them are talking about cutting funding to Israel that is actively blackmailing the entire US government, has a secret nuclear program, is committing a genocide. At the very least, it's an apartheid state. Their national economy is deeply intertwined in the diamond industry and all sorts of illegal international trade and human rights abuses around that in Africa. We have anti-Semitic speech laws in America when we can criticize our own government and our own president, but we can't criticize Israel. We can't even talk about it, or else we'll get kicked off the internet, kicked out of the government. And I hold out at least a sliver of hope for most of these guys that they do understand what's going on and they understand the gravity of Israel's control and that they are just tiptoeing and playing it careful and trying to get the job done here without starting a firestorm that's going to prevent them from doing that. But it's not looking super great. And just like, forget about all the other conspiracy theories about Israel. Forget about the Rothschilds. Forget about the Federal Reserve. Forget about the fact they own the media. Forget about the fact that they founded Hollywood. Forget about all that. Whether you think it's true or not, it does not matter. Just Epstein alone, just Epstein, blows this whole thing wide open. And even if every other Jewish conspiracy theory was not true, and a lot of them are not true, some of them are maybe, Epstein alone would be cause to sever all diplomatic ties with Israel until this story is completely exposed, because our government is not our own if our presidents and our senators and our top officials and our intel agencies and our billionaires and our media are being blackmailed with that kind of information and material by Israel. And Elon did this thing where he returned an awful lot of free speech to the American people. And there's this really rough consequence of free speech that it makes it really obvious when you're not allowed to talk about one specific topic. And the way that all the Zionists are going to freak out and call me names because of this video pointing out very clear facts that everyone can see for themselves online, that only proves my point. Yeah, Muslim extremists, they suck. Yeah, Sharia law, super whack. I want nothing to do with it. It's an extremely complicated situation. We get it. But just because a conversation is filled with blackmail and psyops and COINTELPRO and misinformation and just trash does not mean we can avoid the conversation about the entire US government being blackmailed with kiddie videos. So Bongino, look at the map. Who do you think he was working for?
Oh, dude, telling you, it's all coming down. And so here it is. These elite trafficking networks and elite corrupt agencies, they've gotten too big for their bridges. They forgot that they're on the internet. They forgot that they are not liked. They forgot about morals and a code, and they think that they could just do anything they want. And so, that's why things like P. Diddy are happening and the Epstein and all that stuff. Like, those things are just like the tip of the iceberg in the networks, right? Because I think even people like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg are going to be put out too eventually for their shenanigans. And you already seen the Michelle Obama, Barack Obama breakup because people started realizing, hey, that's a dude and stuff. Like these things are getting very, very obvious on who they are and the darkness and that they have, and the dark occult weird stuff that they're part of. And what's wilder is I just saw this today. So Timothy Leary, one of the 4 founders of LSD. I'm not saying LSD is a satanic drug, but here, listen. So the founder of LSD was inspired by a Satanist, which is just strange correlation, right? So like you can't tie the same devils to Timothy Leary that Aleister Crowley was participating in. But like, just listen to what it says. It's interesting.
Well, I've been an admirer of Aleister Crowley. I think that I'm carrying on much of the work that he started over 100 years ago, and I think the 60s themselves. Crowley said, "Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law." Well,
So he's carrying on something. I don't understand. I'm trying to figure that out because like when I did LSD like way back in the day, the effects were different. It wasn't like cigarettes, nicotine. It wasn't like alcohol. It wasn't like mushrooms. It wasn't like cannabis. It wasn't like cocaine. LSD was just different. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it felt like the actual barriers to my spirit were breaking down. Whereas, like on mushrooms, it feels like the barriers to your mind is breaking down. There's a huge difference. Huge difference.
We have,
Check this out.
but we have one stat that I quote, the autism stat, and you hear different numbers, but it's thousands. They say between 10 and 20,000. So if you go back 15 years ago, we had like nobody. It was 1 in 20,000. Now we have 1 in 34. Is that right? 34. So 34 or 36 kids have autism. And if you go back, I guess 18 years, that whenever that was done, it was 1 in 20,000. So we got from 20,000 to 34, 36. That's unbelievable. So there's something wrong. There's something wrong. We've done something wrong. There's something, you're going to figure it out. Maybe it's a spray that we spray all over the place that nobody else does. Other countries don't. The Pennsylvania Dutch, they don't do anything, and they're amazingly healthy. And
So check this out. Aurora Phelps, 43 years old, is facing 21 charges for allegedly drugging victims she met online to access their financial accounts, leaving 3 people dead and another man in a coma. So she is a sick, twisted individual. Remember, it was Cardi B on an interview years ago. She was laughing, and saying, "Oh yeah, I drug men. I drug men. I take their money and I hustle them. Now, it's a girl's responsibility to do this. You know, we're the boss and we're the best. So I drug men and I knock them out and put them to sleep." And it was like strange, bro. Like she was into like drugging men, probably raping them. Like who knows what she was doing, right? Like that's crazy. So what? These girls online now think it's okay to like drug men? Crazy. So this Wall Street Apes is talking about the egg prices and how it's only affecting America, and how over in Mexico egg prices are super low. $2 a dozen over in Mexico, while a dozen costs like $10. Right here, Future, the rapper Future, is coming under scrutiny because his brother Casino shows a stripper around a group of teen boys, and they're all throwing thousands of dollars. These are all teen boys. These kids look like they're 12, 10, 15, 14, 13, 16. It's I ain't gonna lie, that's disrespectful. Like that's real disrespectful. Like, yeah, honestly, I wouldn't let my kid around that dude. Like that's weird. Like you don't put strippers to a team, bro. I know some men are like, oh yeah, I'm just making sure my boy's a man. I'm giving him what men want. Like no, like you don't. Man, you don't do that. It's wild. Next up,
Never believed that the CIA killed Kennedy.
No. You're talking to a guy that's read the entire JFK file.
You've seen all the secret stuff?
I've seen all of that, and I've seen the 7 pages of the 9/11 report. I've seen it all.
You don't say that to people that you can't tell what you saw. Should the Kennedy stuff be released?
Yes.
Is there anything there that is like, is anybody alive?
The problem is the things that we can't release have nothing to do with the questions you guys are asking. That's about as far as I can go on it. But like the answers you guys want, you pretty much have them. There's very minimal stuff that can't be seen for things that you wouldn't even think are related to that.
Why can't we release them?
And you're thinking temporally, like, did it stop back then? Right? You know, the way intelligence works is you're always developing it. Where did I get that? Where did that go? Oh, hey, I found that guy 5 years ago. Let's go talk to him. Where does that get us? You know, it's a little bit bigger of a jigsaw puzzle. I mean, it's the same. Look, so the 7 pages of the 9/11 report, yes, overnight that needs to come out. I'm telling you, that's got to go. And there will be some people that are pissed off.
Once the truth about 9/11 comes out, like in actual paper format that they're hiding, they have the paperwork. I'm telling you right now, they have the paperwork showing who did 9/11, how the governments and these agencies from like the Zionist America to like the Zionist Israel connections, the military connections of C4s and stuff. Once that all comes out, man, like people are really not gonna be able to trust the government more than they already aren't trusting the government because of COVID. Like, you know what I mean?
The worst criminal in Congress in the last 250 years. Adam Schiff went to the podium day after Adam Schiff is the worst criminal in Congress in the last 250 years. Adam Schiff went to the podium day after day after day saying, I know nothing about this. We're not going to discuss it. We're going to protect it. And then Adam Schiff, led the prosecution of the impeachment trial in the Senate of President Donald Trump. Talk about someone who was conflicted out of the game because he was part of the hoax that brought Charmella in, manufactured that false accusation, and then peddled it out to the world. And he continued, not surprising. He's lied about almost everything in his life. But now he lied just to set up a presidential impeachment. And that's what I was talking about, these disinformation campaigns. He should be investigated because he lied to the world about his interactions with Charmella, who is a whistleblower, and I can't stress it enough, that started a presidential impeachment. Adam Schiff.
Man, yeah, Adam Schiff and all these guys are definitely wild. Here's a quick little. I'm not even gonna play the video. This is disgusting. This mother and daughter are pregnant by the same black guy, and they're like treating him like a king. Oh, it's okay. And the mother is sick. You want to hear this? I'm gonna show you some. Look at the mother's face on that, but like, hear what she has to say.
Right now, I really crave the sweet and salty, and so I mean anything from potato chips dipped in ice cream to pizza drizzled with chocolate.
I crave the sweet and salty, like pizza drizzled with chocolate. What? Dude, she's a sicko. Like, kind of like she wants the blackness, but like she's like, yeah, I'm down, and like I like the weirdness, and my daughter's pregnant with the same guy, but I like it because it's this guy, and so like there's something about it. Like, it's so gross, man. Nasty. There is a criminal enterprise being ran in Arizona. And so Katie Hobbs is being investigated for bribery, fraud, conspiracy, and racketeering. And you know what? I'm gonna call that a day. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, and stay tuned for more. Remember, check out all my sponsors and affiliates down below, and the links on YouTube or on Spotify in the morning. You can find them in the description. Visit my website, 509divinepints.net. Buy some merch. And if you guys could and would, drop down below. Donate $1, donate $2, donate $4.20. $4.20 if you guys want to. 509 Divine Pints, Cash App, PayPal, or buy me a coffee. I do this for free, but hey, if you guys want to send a tip, that'd be great. I've been paying off a lot of debts. So I know last year, I was, letting you guys know, like I was like 12K in debt. But recently I've been able to pay off a lot, and like I cut it down to half. So, paying off bills, but I should be able to get it done by the end of this year, I think. And, or even like the midsummer, I should be able to get off some of these, bills that I owe, and, doing pretty good. I'll be honest. I've been hustling and working a lot and doing Uber and deliveries, and, still donating plasma. I'm still learning Spanish, and, I'm still fresh. So, you guys stay blessed, be blessed, be high. See you guys next time on the 509 Divine Pines podcast. Peace. Love y'all.
Not new, what I do. I've been at it for a minute, pursuing, doing the damage new. I would do everything that I said I would do. I gotta have it, so goddamn it, I'ma be everything I plan to be. Glad to see money coming my way, believe I'll achieve anything I put my mind to, or at least I try to. I'm avoiding my doom, manifesting my room. Meditate to ease the flow. Third eye open, see the golden energy. It can enter me, get me to feeling full. Forget my enemies, dead to me, yeah, I proceed to go to a new dimension. Gotta mention it's inside our soul. Go inside, fuck the outside. Never tell lies, show pride for belief. Gotta keep the range wide, so instead I just write another hit. Getting fried, rolling up, smoke another blunt for the good times. Good times, bad times makes for the good rhymes. So it never matters, I just learned, no I can't hide. Thank God for every second was birthed with the mind of an ancient soul who's just waiting for the next sign. I'm always watching, vision like a hawk, have 'em flocking. When I drop it, I'm talking, have 'em knocking. The knowledge that I'm dropping, I'm coming out the noggin, I'm logged in. That's the intuition, nothing wrong with doing what you feel is right. Everybody got this. Usually feel it in the night when I'm dropping knowledge. Never even needed any college. Abolish people telling people what they want. I do not wish control over anybody. Do it for the profit. That's the reason that they push it. Do it from the cockpit. Cause they got the money, want the money on the mob shit. On the mob shit. But I know they ain't gon' make it. Shit is poppin'. At the end of time, new age topics. Revolutionary crusade cross. Here we go to a new space. Yeah, we enter in a new place. Louis V on my shoelace, rolling with the blue face. Yeah, I'm wondering what you chase. Just another dude caught up in the rat race. Moving my pace, lot of people looking at me sideways. I chase future preparations, gotta go through my face till I feel ready to rearrange it. Happen on a daily basis, tripping oasis. When so many people that I can't see through their faces and touch, so I'm reading minds, feel like I'm evasive, persuasive. Cause I feel the vibe, manipulation, I'm patient. Yeah, I feel the vibe, then work to change it. Manifestation, blessings is what I'm chasing. Quantum physics, I'm about to take the time and rearrange it. I play with reality, can't feel like I'm basic. Most people shut it down, don't wanna embrace it. Replacing knowledge.